Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing great today. In my today's video, we'll go through the con call summary of Vintage Coffee and Beverages Limited for their Q3 results. So when we look at their numbers, right, so the year-on-year revenue increased by almost 71% to 151 crores, and PAT was up by almost 54% to 19 crores, and their operating margin was up to 19% compared to 18% in the last quarter. And in terms of capacity utilization, management said they were able to utilize their capacity 100%, and they're confident they'll achieve the 100% capacity utilization for the Q4 quarter with the current capacity that they have. And in terms of seasonality, management said that Q1, Q2 are generally off seasons for them, and Q3 and Q4 are the peak season. And one another important thing which is happening in the business is the product mix change. Because if you look at the business 2 years back, they were selling almost 80 to 85% of their product in bulk, and remaining 20 to 50, 15 to 20% as consumer pack. But in right now, the ratio has changed. They sell 50% as bulk and 50% as consumer pack. And the management is planning to increase the consumer pack contribution to almost 60% and bulk sales to lower down to 40%. And one of the main reasons that they're doing this is because the consumer pack gives them higher revenue and a better margin. In terms of procurement, currently they procure the coffee beans around 80 to 85% from India, and around 15 to 20% are imported. But they're planning to change this ratio to 40% to imported beans and 60% from India in the coming years. And one question was asked regarding the raw material price fluctuation. And why is it important for this business? Because the price of the coffee changes depending upon the demand and supply, and that's why this question was asked. And what the management said, that because they are into value added businesses, they don't see any immediate impact on their final selling prices. So what generally the company does is, right, they look at the purchase prices on what they have purchased this coffee bean, and accordingly they set the prices for the customers whom they are selling these businesses. So they don't see much change, and they don't see any meaningful impact on the bottom line at all. And in terms of expansion, if you see, they've already added another capacity of around 4,500 metric tons for their spray dried and agglomerated plant, which will start, in production by the end of FY26. And this will increase their total capacity to 11,000 metric tons per annum, which is almost 70% more than what they had last year. For this, the management used a capex of around 45 crores, which they invested. And what management said, that they will be for FY27 and 28, they will be able to use 100% of this capacity because they have a strong order book and the demand is quite high. And at the same time, management is setting up another plant for freeze dried coffee, which will have a capacity of around 5,500 metric tons. And the reason that they're doing it, because they want to get into the super premium segment, which has even higher revenue realization and better margins. Because if we compare freeze dried coffee to spray and agglomerated plant, the revenue realization is almost 40% higher. And that's why the management wants to get into this business. So for this, the capex that they require is around 500 crores, out of which 200 crores will be raised through equity and internal accruals, and remaining 300 crores via debt. And what the management said, that once this plant is operational, they are expected to have a capacity utilization of almost 70% in the first year, because the demand for this coffee, for the freeze-dried coffee is high. Globally, if we see, the demand is growing by on an average 10% every year. And another important statistic that the management said, that currently in India as well as globally, any plants which are manufacturing a freeze-dried coffee, they're already sold out for the whole year. So they know the demand is there and they want to cater to this demand and get into this party. And if you look at these two expansions, right, they are targeting to grow at a 70% CAGR for the next 2 years, which is, quite amazing. And for the freeze-dried coffee, they have a second phase also. Once this plant is set up and done, they are going to increase that capacity to almost by another 100% to 5,500 metric tons. For that also, they would require a capex of around 500 crores, which they will raise through equity and debt. So by the end of 29, their overall capacity from current 4,600 will be around 22,000 metric tons per annum. So their expansion plan is quite aggressive, and they are very confident that they're going to achieve this. So let's see how does it perform. First, we need to look at their new capacity of 4,500, whether it delivers what they have promised, and we have to keep an eye on their freeze-dried coffee plant also. So I'll keep you guys posted. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you and God bless you.